Well, modern passports now have a host of design elements aimed at preventing any chance of them being cloned. At least that's the theory. So how can it still happen? Jason Moon is a security expert and computer hacker. Jason, if these are meant to be foolproof, how can they be cloned and copied?
Well, there's two primary ways, and we're still not sure which way was used in this case. Either you get hold of a real passport which is blank, so you need an insider somewhere where you can get hold of something like that, or if you actually made a passport from scratch and literally counterfeited one yourself from scratch, which is very difficult to do.
Why is it difficult to do?
Well, there are a number of countermeasures purposefully designed into the document, which basically force you to leave residual evidence of a counterfeit. So they trip you up in the way that the printing process, because they're very difficult to do unless you've got the equipment and you layering the print in the correct order, the invisible print as well, magnetic print that only shows under a black light, things like that. These all have to be done in a certain order, in a certain way. And to the trained eye, it's quite easy to spot if things haven't been done correctly.
It appears that some of those, at least 6, who are currently living in Israel largely, they were not aware that they had lost their passport.
Indeed.
Yet their identities have somehow been copied. Can you imagine how that might have happened?
Yes, their passports were obviously cloned.
How?
So either it was purely opportunistic, and they staked out a hotel or something like that, and when a passport was given for identification, the credentials were then copied, or they had inside information, something like that. But I suspect that it was opportunistic, and these people weren't specifically targeted, and so they just used whatever passports they happened to get their hands on so they could clone these details and put them onto their own fake passport.
Now, Jason, there is this complex issue called biometrics.
Yeah.
In other words, something unique to a person which is embedded electronically.
Yeah.
Is that sufficient to stop what you're describing?
Well, ironically, we have to be careful, because in some ways a biometric passport is less secure than a conventional passport. Because if you think about it, a biometric passport is considered to be impervious to fraud. So perhaps if you put biometric data on the passport which matched the person, then you consider this must be a legitimate passport, whereas a conventional passport would be more closely scrutinized. And it is possible to exfiltrate the biometric data off a passport. There's been a number of issues with the passport.
All right, Jason, thanks very much indeed, confirming that any passport essentially can be copied in some way, shape or form.
Indeed.
Jason, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now on The Hub.